How you doing, guys? I'm here today to talk about Rachel, and she was the person who gave the speech that I wrote. So one thing I actually noticed out of her compared to a lot of the other speakers was that she actually smiled more than the other people have, and I thought that was interesting because I know it was one of the criteria boxes on or the things that we could have circled on those evaluation sheets, and I definitely circled that for her. So then another thing was that she added a nice natural story in the speech that I wrote the speech for her, and I never knew this, but she added a story towards the end that was really fluent, and you noticed when she spoke it because she kind of looked up and looked around. It was just something that was good, and she concluded well. And lastly, she had a steady pace throughout the entire speech. So the things I'd like to critique her on were the pronunciation and the mispronunciation of some words. I guess the best way to practice that would be to practice more beforehand, because sometimes I guess she stumbled over herself, which isn't a big deal. Everyone does it. Another thing was that the eye contact and hand gestures. She didn't really get a big chance to move her hands around or speak with her eyes up. She did that one part of the speech when she had her story, but that's definitely something she needed a little work on. And by practicing that, she could give the speech to one of her friends, maybe use hand gestures and just get used to it. And then the last thing I said was that she needed a little bit more emphasis when it came to giving the speech. So when I wrote it in a lot of paragraphs like we were supposed to, and usually at those end of those paragraphs or those paragraphs, the tone changes. We kind of talked about this in class. So I hope that next time when she has an assignment like this, she could practice the tone before she gets the speech, or something along those lines where she could practice changing the tone, because that'll definitely help her in her speech. And thanks.